The sun hung low over the dusty plains of the Mojave, casting long, jagged shadows against the rusted skeletons of abandoned wind turbines. Felix the Cat, wearing a weathered Stetson tilted low over his white-gloved brow, leaned against a hitching post at the edge of the neon-lit settlement of Oakhaven. He was twirling a glowing, magical lasso, a piece of bag of tricks, rope that hummed with a soft, chromatic static. "Something's crawlin' in the circuits tonight, fellas," Felix muttered, his eyes narrowing into slits. Beside him sat a man who looked like he had been chiseled out of granite and sea spray. Popeye the Sailor Man took a long drag from his corncob pipe, the smoke forming perfect, rhythmic rings in the dry air. He wasn't wearing his usual sailor suit, but a leather duster and chaps that strained against his gargantuan forearms. "The dunes be quiet, Felix," Popeye grumbled, his voice like grinding gravel. "Too quiet for a Saturday night. The shadows, they be skittering sideways." High above them, hovering with a silent, humless grace, was Astro Boy. He had traded his red boots for high-tech, reinforced spurs, and his heart reactor glowed with a steady, pulsating blue light that acted as a spotlight against the encroaching gloom. "My sensors are picking up a rupture in the localized reality," Astro said, his voice clipped and precise. "Something is feeding on the electricity of the town. They call it the dark bug." As if on cue, the lights of Oakhaven flickered and died. From the cracks in the parched earth emerged a swarm of shimmering, obsidian-winged insects. They weren't natural. They were geometric, glitching in and out of existence like frames of a corrupted film. Wherever they landed, copper wires turned to dust, and gravity seemed to lose its grip. "There it is," Felix shouted. He whipped his lasso. The rope expanded, turning into a glowing, kaleidoscopic ring that caught the lead insect, a massive metallic beetle with eyes like shattered mirrors. "Stand back, me hearties," Popeye roared. He reached into his duster and pulled out a dented can, not of spinach, but of high-grade biofuel. He crushed it with one hand, his muscles bulging like knotted ropes. "I'm going in for a swig of kinetic energy." Popeye launched himself forward, his fists blurring into a whirlwind of nautical justice. Every time he connected with a dark bug, the creature didn't just break, it detonated in a shower of harmless static and binary code. Astro Boy streaked downward, his arm cannon shifting into a focused beam of pure, restorative light. "Felix, the nest is in the substrata. You have to pull the anchor." Felix didn't hesitate. He reached into his magical bag of tricks, pulled out an anvil, tied it to his glowing lasso, and jammed it deep into the shifting, glitching sand. As the dark bugs swarmed toward the light of the anvil, Felix gave a sharp tug. The ground buckled. The dark bug wasn't a monster. It was a hungry, extra-dimensional rift trying to swallow the town's energy grid. "Heave," Felix squeaked. Popeye jumped, grabbing the lasso with one iron hand and pulling with the strength of a tidal wave, while Astro Boy focused his thrusters on the fissure, welding the reality shut with a precise, high-heat laser burst. With a sound like a record skipping, the sky snapped back into place. The obsidian insects dissolved into harmless sparks of neon light, fatting into the desert breeze. The town's lights flickered back on, steadier than before. Popeye exhaled a cloud of smoke, rubbing his knuckles. A bit of a scuffle, that. Astro Boy descended, his boots clicking softly on the dirt. "The rift is sealed. The town's grid is stabilized." Felix tipped his Stetson, his grin widening to reveal his trademark mischievous teeth. "All in a night's work, boys, but I hear there's a saloon a few towns over that's runnin' low on power. Who's for a ride?" The trio stood against the horizon, the tune, the sailor, and the machine, as the stars reasserted their dominance over the desert sky. They weren't just heroes. They were the sheriffs of the impossible, riding out into the dark to make sure the light stayed on.